we we started doing this. This is interesting to me, Rick, that you'll do this, and so this is really fun. Now, we were talking at the farm, and we got up to the red sandstrom time period.
Right.
Well,
And the bucking of the horse.
okay,
Right.
we're talking about the Haas farm, and when Grandpa was operating it, and this would have been in after 1917. Andy Graver operated the farm till 1917, and then Red Sandstrom took over then from 17 to probably somewhere in the late 20s. And Red Sandstrom got killed. He got bucked off a horse in the barbed wire fence and killed. And so Dad graduated from Winfield High School and then went 2 years to Southwestern and then came back to the farm. And I haven't figured out the years, but I could, I guess. But anyway, he farmed for about 5 years in there he farmed during the late 20s, from 27 probably up to about 30. And then his sisters gave him so much static. And Pearl had graduated from Kansas State, and so Dad decided to go to Kansas State. And he studied business, and he was in the Acacia fraternity. And he was older. And he went, get this, and after the Depression in the 30s, he went to school with a brand new Chevrolet that was pretty classy. It wasn't just a sedan, it was classy. I don't think it was a convertible, but I pictured it as having tires, spare tires on the fenders and stuff. And he went to school with a brand new Chevrolet, and he had $5,000 in the bank. He had made that farming.
Right.
Now that was in the start of the 30s, in the Depression time period. You think he wasn't the cock of the walk at K-State? I don't know how many students were at K-State, but when I went to school there in 1958, there were 5,000, so there would have been less than that. But anyway, he was at school, and he graduated in 1933. And he met my mother, Helen Freeberg. And she was a Alpha Z Delta. She was a sorority gal. Their first date, I always think this is a great hoot. Their first date is he took her for an airplane ride. Can you imagine going for an airplane ride in the 1930s?
Right.
It had to have been an open cockpit plane.
Yes.
And can you imagine when she got back and she went in and told her sorority sisters, you can't believe that Chet Hawes took me for an airplane ride. I can just see that and just fathom what that. But anyway, they ended up getting married, and but Dad graduated in '33 and went back to St. John, Kansas, and opened a grocery store, Hawes Food Market. And then they got married in '34, and I can remember Mom's brother telling me that they helped move her back. No, the cousins helped move her back to St. John. And it was in August, and hot, and no air conditioning, of course, and said it was a miserable hot day. But anyway, they lived in St. John, and till 1936. And in 1936, Dad closed the grocery store because Dillon's had come in. St. John was one of Dillon's food markets, about the second town that they put a store. And they had fresh produce, but they didn't charge. Dad charged to his grocery store. So when the people had money, they went, first part of the month, he would tell me he went to Dillon's and bought, and then when they didn't run out of cash, they came over and charged at Hawes Food Market, and then when the first of the month came, they didn't pay their bill. but they went back and bought at Dillon's. And Dad said he could see the writing on the wall, and he closed the store. Well, at that time, in Mom and Dad, and in 35, Marilyn came. And so in 36, they moved to Hutchinson to live with Dad's folks. They lived in the basement of their house in Hutchinson. Well, Mom and Grandma Nancy, they didn't really see eye to eye, and that wasn't a very good situation. But they lived there till 39, and during that time period, some of the years Dad didn't work, and then some of the years he worked for Investor Syndicate selling investments and insurance. And so then in 39, I think really Grandpa got tired of them being in their house, and Grandma didn't really like it at all. And he loaned Dad $100 and says, "I want you on the farm." Just told him, "You've got to go to the farm." And so they moved to Larned in 39, and I don't know who was farming the farm at that time, but Dad took over. And I was born in 40, and in 41 we moved from Larned to the farm. And my mom, she grew up in McPherson. She wasn't a farm kid, and it had to been an interesting move for Mom to move to the farm. No running water, no indoor bathroom facilities, but she was adaptable, and she'd plant a big garden, and she got along. And of course, we went to church. We went to the Methodist church in Ash Valley, which was just a mile and a half away. Mom got involved in the church, and Dad didn't, but my mom did, and she was Sunday school superintendent and did all those things. And Marilyn went to school in Ash Valley and graduated from Ash Valley District 57. And I went the first 3 years to grade school out there, and then we moved to Larned when Marilyn was ready for high school. And so I started the 4th grade in Larned. But during that time, Dad farmed all through the 40s, and he made money, and so we moved to town in 49. And but Dad still farmed, and he would drive back and forth. He got rid of his livestock and drive back and forth. And of course, I liked to farm, and I didn't want to move off the farm. I didn't want to move to town. And then when I got to town, I decided I liked that. It was pretty good. But in